If you were trying to build real generational wealth through real estate along the Wasatch Front, you've probably realized that generic citywide data just doesn't cut it anymore. The headlines love to tell you in a single story that Utah is changing and the market is shifting. But serious buyers and local families need the raw, unvarnished data to make a move with total confidence. I'm Michael Walters, and I help families and investors in Sandy find their ideal homes, protect their financial downside through data-driven local market analysis. And if you've been tracking my channel, you know my philosophy. I don't just list homes in this valley, I sell them. And more importantly, I win when you win. Today we're conducting a side-by-side, block-by-block comparison of two local markets separated by a single street. We're looking at zip codes 84070 and 84094. Both of these pockets sit right in the heart of Sandy, Utah, but as of the mid-2026, their real estate dynamics, consumer behaviors, and negotiation landscapes look completely different. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how these two numbers break down so that you can stop guessing about your real estate blueprint. Let's pull up the map first. To understand the data, you have to understand the geography. Let's look at zip code 84070. Geographically, this western pocket of Sandy runs north to south from 7800 South down to 121st South and stretches west to east from State Street right up to 700 East. This is your transit-heavy, highly accessible commercial and residential corridor. It sits close to I-15, the Southtown Center, and local light rail lines like tracks. Now, look right next door. The moment you cross over 700 East, you enter into zip code 84094. This section also runs from 7800 South down to 121st South, but its borders move from 700 East up to 1300 East. And as you move east through 84094, you are physically climbing an elevation toward the East Bench, moving closer to the mouths of Big and Little Cottonwood Canyons. One street, 700 East, is the literal boundary line. Yet our May 2026 market reports from the UtahRealEstate.com show that these two neighborhoods are behaving like they are in completely different states. Let's break down the five massive differences that you need to know. Let's tackle the biggest shocker in the data first. That's market speed or days on market. This metric tells us exactly how fast buyers are moving and how much breathing room you actually have to make a decision. At 84070, the western pocket, market velocity just went into hyperdrive. In May, days on market plummeted by a staggering 50% year over year, dropping from 42 days down to 21 days. Think about that. Homes are going from active to under contract in exactly 3 weeks. This tells us that the sub 600,000 price point demand along I-15 corridor is highly aggressive right now. Now look across 700 East into 84094. The exact opposite is happening. Days on market actually increased by 15%, climbing from 34 days up to 39 days. Year-to-date, homes in this zip code are taking an average of 49 days to sell. The takeaway? Well, if you are looking west of 700 East, you must be pre-approved, focused, and ready to strike immediately because the window of opportunity closes in 3 weeks. And if you're looking east of 700 East, well, the market is letting you catch your breath, giving you more time to view properties and make logical decisions. Difference number two is the price trajectory. Let's look at what buyers are actually paying on both sides of the line. West of 700 East in 84070, the median sale price for a single-family home in May came in at exactly $595,000. What's fascinating is that this is a flat or a 0% change from May of last year. Year to date, the median price is hovering right around $555,000. This tells us that the western side of Sandy has found an incredible, stable, mature baseline. Prices aren't spiking, making it a reliable training ground for first-time homebuyers looking to build equity without chasing a runaway train. But look at 84094. The single-family median sale price here hit $586,000 for the month of May. And while the total dollar amount is slightly lower than 84070, the trajectory is up 5% year over year. More importantly, look at the year-to-date trend. Prices are up 3.6%, averaging $570,000. The takeaway here, 84070 is giving you flat, predictable pricing, while 84094 is experiencing steady upward pressure as buyers move further east towards the foothills, trading standard lots for proximity to the canyons. The third difference is where your pocketbook gets hit directly. We need to look at the percent of original list price received. This tracks how close sellers are getting to their initial asking price, and it reveals where the hidden discounts live. West of 700 East and 84070, sellers are completely holding the cards. They've received an average of 99.6% of their original list price in May, which is a 4.1% jump from last year. This means if a home listed at $600,000, it's selling for almost exactly that same amount. There is virtually no discounting happening because properties are moving at 21 days. Now look at the massive opportunity in 5% of their original list price. That means buyers are successfully negotiating an average of 2.5% discounts right off the top. On a $600,000 home, that 2.5% gap represents $15,000 in negotiating leverage. As a professional coach for my clients, this is where I get excited. In 84094, we can use that leverage to negotiate seller-paid closing costs or buy down your mortgage rate from the current 6.5% into the 5s, saving you hundreds of dollars a month. Difference number 4 comes down to raw supply and inventory choices. How many options do you actually get when you open up the MLS? In 84070, new listings dipped slightly by 4% in May, with 24 new homes hitting the market. However, because of accumulated properties over the spring, the total active single-family inventory skyrocketed by 25%, giving buyers 35 active homes to choose from at any given moment. You have inventory even if it moves fast. Switch over to 84094 and we see a supply crunch brewing. New listings dropped by a sharp 11.4% in May, with only 31 homes hitting the market. Sellers in this neighborhood are holding on to their properties tightly, likely insulated by low historic mortgage rates, meaning fresh inventory is getting harder to come by. The takeaway here, in 84070, you have a 25% increase in total available inventory options. You have to act fast. In 84094, fresh supply is shrinking, making it crucial to have an agent who knows how to find off-market properties before they hit the open MLS. Finally, let's look at market liquidity through closed sales. This tells us if the market is healthy and transactional or completely stalled out. In 84070, closed sales for the month of May actually rose 7.1% with 15 successful completed transactions. Year to date, the market has processed 69 closed single-family sales. It's a very steady, functional environment. In 84094, monthly closed sales ticked down slightly by 4%, closing 24 homes in May. Look at the bigger picture. Year to date, 84094 has closed 106 homes. This tells us that despite the lower inventory and longer days on market, this zip code remains a highly active, liquid, and desirable powerhouse in Sandy. It handles nearly double the transactional volume of its western neighbor over the course of the year. So what is the bottom line verdict for these two Sandy zip codes in middle 2026? If you're a first-time home buyer looking to escape the $2,400 a month rent cycle, your play right now is to target the established, flat-priced inventory in 84070. It moves incredibly fast. The price stability protects your downside while you get your foot in the door to build real equity. If you're a move-up buyer trying to figure out the logistics of selling your current starter home to move closer to the East Bench, well, 84094 is handing you a massive gift. The 39 days on market means you aren't forced to rush. That 97.5% list average price means you have the direct leverage needed to negotiate price drops and rate buy downs to keep your monthly payments safe. No matter what your strategy is, clear and consistent communication is how we win. I am with my clients through thick and thin, always by your side and always on your side. Don't leave your real estate investments to generic headlines or guesswork. Reach out to me directly using the contact information below to map out a customized line-by-line cost breakdown for your specific target block. Drop a comment with your thoughts on these 2026 numbers and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next market update.